Hello everyone, welcome to the third project of Ionots IoT course. In the previous projects, we have already seen that how we can control a LED using different modes. In this project, we'll build an intrusion detection system to minimize the risk of theft. There will be a PIR sensor that you can place at your locker or a vault. This PIR sensor will detect any motion whenever anyone tries to access the locker, and the owner will be notified through an email about their activities. Now, moving on to our project, in the requirement, you will require Node MCU, PIR sensor, breadboard, micro USB cable, and jumper wires. You are already aware of PIR sensor from the theory part, and in the software requirement, you will require Arduino IDE and SMTP. Here also, you have already learned the SMTP protocol in your theory section. Now, moving on to the procedure. To start with the project, create a new Gmail account, open this link and enable it to allow access to the less secure app to your new Gmail account. I have already created a new Gmail account. Now I'll open this link. Here I have already enabled the access to the less secure. Now, now, now I'll go back to the manual. In the step 2, it says open Arduino IDE, install email sender library from manage libraries. I'll copy the name of the library and move to the Arduino IDE. Here in the Arduino IDE, go to sketch and go to include libraries and then manage libraries. This will enable the library manager. In the library manager, you can install any library related to your IoT projects. We'll paste the name of the library we just copied, hit enter, and then hit enter, and then hit enter. Here you can see we have already installed I have already installed the required library. Here you can select the version, but I am already updated with the latest version, so I do not need to install it. Now we'll close the library manager and move to our lab manual. In the lab manual, step 3 says copy and paste the source code in the Arduino IDE. As you are already aware of that source code is present at the end of the procedure. We'll go to the end of the procedure, and here you can see the source code is present here. Now click on the first line of code, then hold shift and a down arrow on your keyboard. Now you have already selected the whole code. Just copy this code and paste it in your Arduino IDE. Now in the Arduino IDE, hold Ctrl plus A, right click, then select Auto Format. This will format your code and make it look better, so you can understand it now. Now moving to the step 4. The step 4 it says the Wi-Fi name, password, sender's email, email password, recipient's email address, subject, and the text required place in the code. Now we'll go to the Arduino IDE. I will enter my Wi-Fi name in the line 8, removing this hash. and then I'll enter the password of my Wi-Fi. Then coming to line 12, here you will need to enter your sender's email and sender's password. You can use any email that you want to send the mail. Now this is for password. Now moving downwards, in the line number 66, you will need to enter another email where you will be receiving the text about the intrusion. In the line 64 and 65, you will need to enter the message that you want to be delivered, but I'll go with the default one. Now the coding part is done. We'll move forward with the next step. We'll move to the manual. Here the step 5 says, check once whether you have selected the right board and COM port before uploading the code, then upload the code. I'll quickly plug in my Node MCU. Now I'll go to the tools and check if I have selected the right board. Here it is, Node MCU 1.0, and check the COM. It's COM4 for me. Now I'll click on the upload button on the toolbar. This code is over 70 lines, so it might take up to 5 minutes depending on the processor of your system. So if it takes around 5 minutes, you don't have to panic about it. It's completely normal. We have successfully uploaded the code in our Node MCU. Now before moving to the hardware assembly, we will first remove the USB cable from the Node MCU to ensure the safety of our hardware components. Now we will take our PIR sensor and take 3 jumper wires. We'll attach these jumper wires to the pins of PIR sensor. Here, as you can see, the right one, that is green one, stands for VCC, orange stands for our input of the PIR sensor, and yellow stands for ground. Now we'll attach them in the Node MCU. As I told you, green stands for VCC. We'll put that in the 3.3 volt of the Node MCU. That can be found here. Now yellow is for ground. We'll put yellow on the ground. Now the input from the PIR sensor would be attached to the D0 as mentioned in the code. And we can take this LED here. This LED will notify whenever a mail is sent to us. You don't need to attach this LED, but I'm attaching this for the circuit purpose. Now take the cathode of the LED and attach it to D1 and anode to the ground. Take a USB cable and attach it to the Node MCU. And now we are done with the hardware assembly of the project.